And now, weighing in out of the blue corner, Josh the Punk Thompson. 100%. And on the other mic, he weighs in from the red corner, Big John McCarthy.
From the beautiful Atlantic Ocean on the East Coast all the way to the Pacific Ocean, where my man Josh Thompson is very close to drowning himself in, we are here with the Weighing In podcast and our free cane shirts, because there's people out there that need to understand you need a free cane. Bunch of dipshits. What's up, brother?
It's the weather's beautiful here today. It's supposed to rain tomorrow. It's supposed to rain Monday, so I'm enjoying the sun today. But I was out yesterday. It was awesome yesterday too. It's been nice all week. I think it was like in the mid 80s on Tuesday, Wednesday, and then it came back down to the low 70s. It's
a little
nice,
windy here.
You know?
Little windy.
For all of you guys living in the shitty areas of the country, okay, keep enjoying that. But you guys enjoy all the other great stuff that we don't get to enjoy here, like democracy.
I was going to say, like freedom? I'm sorry.
Freedom. Yeah. No, it's all right. All right, guys. Well, hey, let's jump right into it. So we're going to talk about one, because we touched on one in the midweek show, and we got to touch back on it. It was actually a pretty fun card.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of things to talk about, to be honest. I mean, we'll talk about a couple other fights, too, that weren't on the actual big main card that they were presenting. But let's talk Angela Lee first versus Stamp Fairtex. Well, March Madness has begun. It has been electric. All of the upsets, I got to tell you, even though John and I talk about MMA, MyBookie.ag brings you all of your gambling stuff at all the levels, from boxing, kickboxing, MMA. They do everything. You got the March Madness coming up. You got baseball. Baseball is back. John, baseball is back. So I don't know. How do you feel about baseball?
Also hockey.
Baseball is one of those sports where I don't really get into it towards the end of the season because there's so many games. But when you go to mybookie.ag, you can gamble on any of those games, bet on any of those games. They have plenty of odds for you guys to pick up on. But right now, with March Madness taking off, you've got the fights that are coming up as well. John and I will pick each other's brains and then share our knowledge with you guys at mybookie.ag, so you guys can potentially make some extra money. Use that QR code right there. Go to mybookie.ag, use the promo code weighing in, or use the QR code, which will take you there. Okay, they will give you a little extra spending cash with your first initial buy-in. So once your first initial buy-in will give you some extra cash to go ahead and lay down some bets on whatever it is John and I tell you to bet on. I'm not going to give you too much advice on the March Madness because all of my picks have been wrong, and my bracket was busted on day one.
Yeah, so but April 9th and April 15th are huge fight nights, and we will give people good information for them to get the money that they need for their little habit.
Yep. So mybookie.ag, use that promo code weighing in. It's kind of the easy way to call it. The fight it goes one of two ways. Jiu-jitsu person versus stand-up person. It was a good fight. It was good.
You got to give Angela Lee credit, man. She stood up in the stand-up and she delivered some shots.
She took some shots, John.
She did. I admit that, but she delivered some shots. Oh, dude, that almost had her out of the fight.
Yeah, I was surprised. I was actually, to be honest, because we talk about body shots all the time. It shuts you down.
Yes.
It keeps you from moving. Your arms can't lift. Your body just curls up into a ball.
Your legs don't work.
Yeah, nothing works. And no matter what you do, you can't get the breath out. And that means you cannot move. Like, you're trying to force it out. And for those of you guys, sure, some of you guys have lost your wind, but like losing your wind in certain situations versus actually
different
in the middle of being tired. That's what the difference is.
It's not only in the middle of being tired, it's in the middle of someone actually attacking you.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay. There's a big difference. If you fall and you land and you knock the wind out of yourself, no one's coming after you to fuck you up.
You have time to like get your wind back, relax, lay there, go, I can't breathe. In this situation, you got someone coming after you, by the way, who's a really good stand-up person. Yeah. She came after her, Stamp came after her and was trying to put it on her. But Angela did the right things to slowly get out of certain situations, shot on the single, hung on there. I was getting worried too because she was taking some big shots in that single leg position as well. And then she was able to finally get the takedown. When she did, she did some really good stuff in that first. Yeah, fight change. She did some good stuff in the first round, got in the second round, and just same thing. Just more pressure, more, transitions. She did a really good job. Look, someone who was away from the sport for a while because she went and had a baby, came back. She's her second fight back. She's getting that fluidity back, but she also, I feel like there's something about her that's just different. I think the maturity, the way she fights, and listening to a couple of her interviews yesterday, she just said, "Look, I look like I go back and watch my old fights. I look like a baby. Like she's like, I feel like I'm a completely different person now," which is true.
I think she is.
I think she is. And so I saw a lot of people saying, "Man, I want to see Angela Lee in the UFC, this and that." I mean, I would put her up against any of the fighters at 115. She'd have a hard time with some of them, but some of them would be tailor-made for her. Like, I think Carla Esparza would be kind of tailor-made for her. The two of them in their stand-up, the two of them with Carla's wrestling and her submission, it would be a dog fight, like pretty much when I hit the ground.
Yeah.
And so the way that they get after each other, that'd be a great fight. She'd have a hard time with someone like Weili Zhang, though. So Weili's got good takedown defense, got big power, and submission-wise, she's not tapping off of anything. She's basically just going to go out or get tapped or break something. She's that person. So there's certain fighters that I think will be difficult for her.
The whole point is, though, Angela could walk in to the UFC and do very well.
Yes.
In the 115-pound weight class, she would do very well. Mm-hmm. Now, does that mean that she's going to end up being the champ? Maybe, maybe not. But Rose would be a difficult task for her. Yeah. Rose has got good takedown defense. She's got very good stand-up. And she's good on the ground, too. So Rose is a different level, just like you're saying, Weili. I think that someone like Joanna would give her some problems because she's very difficult to take down, and she's very crisp in her stand-up. So it's the one thing, if you were watching this fight with Stan Fairtex, her takedown defense is just not. It's there, but it's not. Mm-hmm. And they were talking about, everyone talks about how tough she is to take down, and you watched her do certain things, and you go, that just led to the takedown. What are you doing? Yeah. And so that's just the difference in level change when you're talking about that next level up. But I think that Angela Lee could fight with any of them. She's a gamer. And as you're saying, she's fighting better and smarter now than she was in the past. And that body shot she took, look, she didn't turn. She got hit, and she was backed up, and you could see it, and she was crunching down, and you could see it. But it was all the things she did in that moment that kept her in the fight. And you look and you go, hey, smart move of how you handled that situation, smart move of getting into that clinch the way you did, all the things that she was doing. That's the difference of winning and losing fights, and that's why she won.
Yeah, exactly.
Impressive.
I mean, people continue to look when you look at Muay Thai fighters, they are not the easiest people to take down because majority of MMA fighters rely on the clinch to get the takedown. Well, that's where they make their living, in that clinch area, in that over under tie, like that type of position. Like, it's very difficult to get takedowns against.
And that's because look at the double leg takedown from afar. That's a thing of the past. Yeah. Okay, that's not something that you'll get it in there every now and then, but that was bread and butter in the early days of MMA. It's not now. No. And so that's the way to actually kind of take down a Thai fighter. Yeah. Is you got to have that blast double, or that ability to that running tackle. It makes a big difference. And if you're going to talk about the styles of fights, just go to the next one with Demetrius Johnson. Yep. And Rotang. Watch the first round and watch, how much pressure and forward motion that Rotang has coming after Demetrius. And look, I thought Demetrius did a great job at times, and he landed some good shots.
He landed some big shots.
Thank you. I was like, God damn, that was a good shot. And Rotang just fucking walked right through it. Yeah. I was like, holy shit. But seriously, I mean, take a look at that first round and look at the way that Rotang goes after Demetrius, and Demetrius is fighting him off the whole time. And start of the second round, he's circling, he's backing up, and that's the difference between when you have the ability for someone to take you down. It's different. That fight is a perfect illustration of the difference between the skills of a Muay Thai fighter and what they can really do. And when it comes to the full skill set of an MMA fighter and being able to take someone off of their feet, and being able to keep out of that person's danger zone, and as soon as Rotang hit the ground with Demetrius and he got his back, you go, he's in trouble.
Yeah, but if you go back,
and he's tough.
If you go back to the Angela Lee fight, right, with Stan Fairtex, what she had to be very careful of is shooting on the double, because Muay Thai fighters are really quick with their knees, and
Knees up
not
the
just in
middle.
terms of like the clinch. Like I've trained with some really, really good Thai fighters in the clinch when they're on your head, as well as their knee activity. I've seen guys in AKA get knocked out by good Muay Thai guys because their timing on their takedown was not on point.
Yeah.
So in this situation, DJ had to wait until Rotang threw the strike and then slipped under and came to the back basically.
Yep.
So he was able to duck under that I think it was a left hook. He ducked under the left hook and got right to the back, or got to the side, and then got himself to the back. That was beautifully executed. The speed was the factor because DJ is normally the faster fighter. He is getting older, but he is still pretty damn fast, as we saw.
Yep.
But when it came down to the stand-up, damn, they were throwing down. What I loved was that DJ, he threw back. He didn't just circle, stay away, and try to get to the clinch every single time. He threw back, and a lot of what he threw landed cleanly. Rotang was just a different level in terms of he can take a shot, he can give a shot. He was mixing it up. I got nervous for DJ in that first round because he was taking some shots as well, and they were pretty big ones. But it was fun. That first round was really fun, and I got to be honest, man, I missed this in terms of the throwback days from the K1 days, from the Pride days. One round of MMA, one round of kickboxing, or even if it's just a specialty fight like we're going to talk about with Galvao and De Ridder, like that grappling match. I love what they're doing. I love that. But the problem is they're having a hard time attaching themselves to the American market. One is. But I love what they're doing right now. I love this little back and forth, where you're filling in some stuff where DJ had to fight stand up against a world-class a Muay Thai guy, and then had turn around and put on the MMA, or didn't put on the MMA gloves, but basically turned it. They were already on, but then turned it into an MMA fight. They learned something
from watching the past.
But it was great because now Rotang is going to basically understand that he just went with one of the best guys in the world and understands if not pretty much one of the best guy. He's so damn good.
One of the best guys that ever fought.
Has ever fought. He is someone that, look, I just went with, and he fought off the submission a couple times.
Oh yeah.
And was able to get rid of that rear naked a couple times. Finally got caught in it. But DJ is a different level on the ground. He's phenomenal. His wrestling's good. His striking's good. He's faster than the majority of people. He is a stud. And so the fact that this fight was a really fun fight, the first round was Muay Thai, like kickboxing, and the second round was MMA. And they would have went to a third round. And then I think it would have went to another round of MMA after that.
Yeah, it would have gone to a third round of Muay Thai and then back to MMA.
Yeah, and so that would have overall, that was a really fun fight for me because both of them had their moments. And like I noticed the same thing you noticed. First round, Rotang was walking him down and DJ was surviving, basically just fighting for his life. But in that second round, it was reverse.
Total.
DJ was walking him around. And like we talked about last week in the midweek show, I said, these one fighters seem so much bigger than DJ. But this is finally, like DJ seemed a little bit smaller, but it seemed close though this time. It seemed close. But it was a fun fight. That to me was it was a really fun fight to watch. But
not only was it a fun fight, you got to give it to DJ.
Yeah.
That he'll put himself in that position to actually take that fight, because that's a dangerous thing to do, because that first round, you're going against a guy that is a fucking just stone killer. When it comes to Muay Thai, multi-time world champion, this dude is a stud. And you got to fight under his rules for those 3 minutes. Those are the longest 3 minutes of your life at that time. And he takes that, and he takes the challenge, and then he, comes up with the win. I give it to both guys. I give it to Rotang for taking it with, DJ, and DJ taking it with Rotang. So,
well, let me ask you this though. When a promotion is paying you the amount of money they're paying DJ, you just take what they take. Yeah. But that being said, John, there's a little bit of buzz going around right now because, and I'm going to go off topic just for a split second off of this card, that there's certain fighters in the Bellator Bantamweight World Grand Prix, and I'm not going to mention names, that are basically pussyfooting around and saying, oh, there's $1 million on the line plus all my fight purse, but can you move the tournament? Can I get this opponent? Can I make special stuff for me?
Circumstances for me? No. Sorry.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Well, no, these are the same people that'll sit there and go, I should get paid more. Here's your chance.
John,
here's your chance.
It's not even that. If you follow these people, which majority of people do, if they follow them, they'll realize they're like, oh yeah, I'm getting ready for my fight. I'm doing this. They're giving you the spin on their social media. But in reality, they're giving the promotion a shitty time.
Yeah, well.
And I'm just thinking to myself, look, man, this is your opportunity. Take it or leave it. You don't want it, someone else is going to step in, get a shot at $1 million.
Here's what happened.
Take it or leave it. We understand the Sergio thing. Sergio's the guy that
he got hurt.
Legit injury, surgery,
totally.
Sent it to Bellator doctors. They already checked it out. Plus his own doctors checked it out. Everyone understands it needs to be done.
An injury happens.
Yeah.
Here's the thing though. Those types of things will follow you.
Yeah.
They don't go away.
No.
All right. And it's not only they don't go away with your current promotion, but you want to go somewhere else. They're going to know. They're going to hear about it, and they're going to have that in the back of their mind. This person tends to pull themselves out at times. They tend to try to change things up. Not a good place to be. And it's been done in the past. So you need to be smart about stuff.
All three, let's just say the four biggest promotions. You've got UFC, Bellator, PFL, and ONE. Those four promotions, even though they're all battling against each other, there's people on the inside that all know each other. They've all worked together. They all do this. Like you said, exactly. They interlock. They know. And if they don't know, then they know the media that knows. And then, so these type of things, which is frustrating, I think. So when you have something like that, DJ did based off of, hey, you guys are taking care of me. You guys paid me a huge contract.
Yep.
He's making good money. I can do this. It's not like he's a scrub. He's one of the best guys ever in MMA. He's good on the feet. He's super fast. Obviously, he's got good wrestling, good submissions we've seen in the past, as well as we saw in this fight. Look, he's getting paid good money. He understands this is the fight business. I am an entertainer.
Yep.
I am a prize fighter.
That's it.
Whatever you put in front of me, I do. He's amazing, man. I love watching him fight. I didn't get to see the Adriano Moraes fight, but I did watch the Sexyama and Aoki fight.
Oh yes.
Ooh. Oh man.
2 rounds, totally different.
Can I say this though? Look, I've been a big fan of Shinya Aoki forever. Yeah. Had Sexyama's back for the whole first round. But coming into that second round, right, it just seemed like he wasted so much energy holding that body lock, that figure four body lock. He had no answer on the feet. He had no idea how to get the fight to the ground after that first round.
His legs weren't there anymore.
John,
the movement of his legs. Go ahead.
I've never seen a guy look so shitty on the feet. And I have nothing but respect for this guy. He was lost. He was so slow.
He got hurt early too.
He did.
He got hurt early. In the second round, he got hurt right away.
He did, but there was no sense of circle, stay away, circle, stay. And I get it. I understand. He's a dog. He's a guy that he'll stand and he'll trade, even though it does not benefit him because he's a little bit older. His chin's been suspect for a while now.
And he doesn't have big power in his hand.
He has no power. But the two of them, it made for a very action-packed, finishing a finale kind of second round. It was fun. But I'm yelling at the TV going, what are you doing? Snatch a single.
And that guard. When you want to talk about, look at the difference in size.
Yes.
Look at the difference in size. I mean, Akiyama is built, like a brick shit house, big legs, everything. Aoki's thin legs, thin body. So just to
although he looked a little more muscular this time, John, I'm going to be honest. He looked a little more muscular.
He didn't look near as muscular as fucking
Little suspect.
Here, you want a little suspect? Take a picture of Sexyama when he was fighting in K1.
Oh yeah.
Then take a picture of him when he's fighting in the UFC. Now take a picture of him again as he's older and fighting in ONE.
You just said it, as he's older.
Those are some good vitamins. Those are some good vitamins.
It's so crazy, right? I'm geez. Hey, it is what it is. Hey, we're gonna have weight cutting stuff though. Okay, but we're gonna go ahead and let you guys abuse
That's totally
the
different. You just don't get it.
I'm just what are you doing? Oh my goodness. Anyways, but look,
just so you know, right there, we're both haters. Someone you're just hating.
Look, here's the thing though.
As long as both can do it, I don't care.
I've got a thing for ONE, man. I really truly admire what they're doing. I've always loved their promotion. I've got friends that work for the promotion. I love the fighters they have, and I think people they underestimate, I should say, the level of competition that they're facing. And you see it with DJ, you see it with Eddie, you see it with other fighters that come in there. They don't realize that these fighters are good, and not just good. But the problem is they're very good in their perspective sport, whether it's jiu-jitsu, like you've got Andre Galvao, who competed also in this in this pay-per-view, as well as and who else was it? I mean, you've got Buchecha, who didn't compete this time. We got Buchecha, Gordon Ryan. You've got all these other top
Gary
level
Tonin.
jiu-jitsu. Yeah, Gary Tonin. They're really good, but they're good in their respective sports. Like, got a lot of ton of top level Muay Thai fighters, but they're good in their sports. So when you get someone who like a DJ who can mix it up to get takedowns, good submissions, all of those things. Angela Lee, she's not the greatest on the feet. I've never said that. I will never say that until she gets better on the feet. But she is phenomenal in terms of she's a dog. She's a fighter. We say it all the time. She's someone that's just gritty. She's that junkyard dog. She's going to press, put action, try to get the takedowns. If she doesn't get the takedowns, she will throw, but to get back in on the takedowns, she's a very high fight IQ fighter. And that's why she's successful in what she does. To me, when I looked at Aoki, though, John, I didn't see a high fight IQ. I saw someone who really came out there after we did the midweek show. He came out with a little bit too much aggression, a little bit almost like anger, and it backfired on him. And every single time you and I have talked, and I've said this, I don't know how many times, every time I fought angry or anytime I fought with that type of emotion, I lost. Yeah. I fought shitty, got smashed, or whatever it was. It just wasn't there. And that's what I saw from him. He had great control in the first round, got the back, had good, but then after that, his legs were done. He wasn't the same fighter coming out. He did get rocked early in the second round, but it was a different fight.
Oh yeah. But, I look at it, to me, that's one of those fights. He took a challenge. He went, after a bigger guy. He had his chance. Sometimes, it's when you do things, especially against smaller fighters, that work for you time and time again. And I can go and look at, Aoki, he did remember Lyle Beerbaum?
Yeah.
Fancy pants up from
yes, I
up
do
in
remember
Washington.
him.
Yeah.
Yeah, him and I had a beef for a while.
Yeah, him and Aoki fought, and Aoki face cranked him.
Mm-hmm.
And that was something that Aoki would go to a lot. Instead of going for the choke, he would go to a face crank, and he was good at it. And it hurts. It's painful. And he was trying it against Akiyama. And a lot of times, guys are going to tap to it. And then you'll get that guy that, I'm not going to tap to it. It hurts. I'm just going to put up with it.
That's Conor McGregor. Conor McGregor tapped to it. Sorry, I'm just...
Listen to you, man. Listen to you. You're a horrible human being.
I'm not horrible. I'm just pointing out. So, look, a lot of our fans are UFC fan watchers, and they're a majority of the UFC fan watchers. We understand that, and I have to relate them to somebody that they can probably relate to.
Oh, I see what you're doing there. Okay,
they've seen the Khabib and the Conor fight, and they can say, like, that's the fight that I remember where someone got submitted with the jaw lock.
That was the jaw lock.
The crossface. Yeah, they got submitted with the crossface.
But Akiyama put up with it throughout the first round multiple times. Yeah. And, when that didn't work, in Aoki's mind, something that works all the time for you, and now it didn't work, kind of gets to you. And I think that's what happened. But it was still an interesting fight. But let's talk about, all right, we're going to go into a different realm. We're going to go into a Muay Thai fight first.
Okay, perfect.
Because I love John Wayne Parr. I've always loved him. He's a great guy. Just an outstanding individual, but absolutely fucking nuts.
Yep. Insane.
And he's going against Edward Folyoung, who has got power. And Folyoung was landing some bombs in that. And here, John just keeps walking forward. and here's the thing. And John, if you're listening, I love you, man. You have been awesome for the sport of Muay Thai. You've been awesome for kickboxing. You've been awesome in the martial arts. No. But you could really see the difference in the speed. Yeah. John's older now, and so
the power.
He's gotten slower, and the power, and just you're talking about a guy that's got an artificial hip, in John, and all these things that, man, he can have all that bad stuff going on. Here in heart, you will never find anyone that's got more heart than that man. He just kept coming forward to the point where Folyoung is finally like, I have hit him with everything I know how to hit with, and that son of a bitch keeps walking me down. So it was, in one way, it was sad because I don't want to see John take punishment, but in one way, it was awesome to watch.
Yeah,
John just show, hey man, there ain't no stopping me,
Well,
he went after him.
Big John, round one was kind of like a filler out round for both of them. They had landed some good shots. They were getting after each other, whatever it was. Round two, Foyalong started putting it on him because the speed was a factor.
Huge.
You know, John Wayne Parr fights at a pace that just continues to go, though. He kind of builds up and ramps up. The more you hit him, the faster and the harder he tries to push you.
Forward.
He comes forward, and he just puts you on your back foot. Well, look, what people don't realize, they do realize when you watch enough MMA fights, when you put a good MMA fighter, if you put him against a boxer or you put him against a good Muay Thai person, and you put them on their back foot, they get tired faster.
Oh, yeah.
Because in reality, right, in MMA, I can shoot, grab your leg, or I can lock to a body lock and do all those things. Yeah. You can't do that in the Muay Thai. You can't do that in boxing. So when you're fighting those type of fighters, you're on your back foot a lot, and you're running a lot, you're circling a lot, you're trying to do movements that you're not used to being able to do because your go-to is to clinch and grab the legs or clinch and grab the body or get it over, under, whatever it is. In this situation, Foyalong was putting it on him in the second. He even dropped John Wayne Parr in the second round. Yep. Coming into the third round, I was like, oh, this is not going to be good. This is not going to be good. John's like, yeah, watch this, guys. Hold my beer.
Yep.
Hold my Fosters. That's what he said. Hold my
Make
Fosters.
It cold.
He walked him down and put him on his back foot, and he was getting exhausted. And it was amazing to watch. And I was just like, I was on the edge of my seat going, get it, John Wayne Parr, get it. I knew if he didn't get the finish, he was going to lose, but I was still like, man, this is how I wanted to see you go out. I want to see you go out on your show. And his nickname, the Gunslinger, I couldn't think of a better nickname for him. Absolutely amazing. He is a stud, and I want to wish you a happy retirement. This was his retirement fight. And nothing but the best, buddy.
I want to say this. John, you've retired multiple times.
Yes.
And so I expect to see you back next month.
I hope not.
I love you, though, dude.
No. He's got to be done. I mean, like, it's just...
It's hard.
The thing is, he's fought everyone of the who's who at the highest level.
Oh, my God.
So for him to come back and, whether it's Muay Thai or for him to come back and do an MMA fight or him to come back and do whatever, even if he does a grappling match, you know what I mean? Like, he wants to compete against the highest level. It doesn't matter what it is because that's who he is as a dog. I mean, he's amazing, and he's a great person too. When you sit and talk with him and you get a chance to exchange with him, he's amazing. He's amazing. So I want to wish you a happy retirement. I wish you all the best, and thank you for such a great fight. That was a great fight.
Oh, it was.
And then we'll talk about Andre Galvao, who fought De Ridder. And honestly, John, I got to be honest, man. I was expecting more out of Galvao. I was expecting. Now, the reason why I'm saying this, on the bottom, he didn't look like I've seen him look before in the past. And I've trained with him. I've seen him. He fought in Strikeforce back in the day. His explosiveness, I've said this for I don't know how the longest time now in terms of people that I've talked to, from Gordon Ryan to people with other teams. He's put on too much muscle. He seems very stiff on the bottom, but on top, different level. Yeah. Different exchanges, different positioning, different control, good pressure.
But that single butterfly hook of De Ridder caused him nothing but problems. Every time he got to the top position, you saw De Ridder, he would get at least one butterfly hook inside, and he would elevate him up and just keep his hips a little bit light and start to move him. I thought overall, if I'm just looking at it, I expected Galvao to win this. Now, De Ridder is someone who is a 2-division title holder in one and lives off of his jiu-jitsu. But come on, if you want to compare them, as far as accolades within the jiu-jitsu community, it's not even close. God damn it. I'm just going to say that De Ridder was fun to watch as Galvao attacked him, how he stopped a lot of things, because very good at, when he would get the underhook at times, when he would get that butterfly hook, when he would sit there and extend out and then sweep him back and just off balance him. I was just like, it was a beautiful display of a guy who, look, he lives on jiu-jitsu in the fight game, but he's not just a pure jiu-jitsu guy like Galvao, and he did a great job in that. Yeah. If you're going to go off of if it was a points thing or something, Galvao wins. But it wasn't, and so it ends up a draw, and I love the fact that he called him out and said, hey, next time why don't you come into my world and we'll do it MMA and we'll see how it goes. And it would be different.
It would be a lot different. Look, Galval's good. He's older though. The
Yes.
transitions weren't as fluid as I've seen them before in the past.
Yeah.
He's carrying a lot of muscle that he
Top
didn't used to carry.
pressure is impressive when he can get to a place where he's comfortable. Man, he just crushes.
Yeah, I agree with you when he's on top.
Yeah.
But yeah, he was struggling a little bit more so than you would think for someone who's trains. He trains a lot of the best guys in the world right now that are hot on the circuit, But he's got someone chasing him down right now who's just been bugging him and bugging
Guy
him.
named Gordon Ryan.
Gordon Ryan's made it very public that he's just waiting for Galval to show up at one of these, tournaments. I think ADCC is coming up. I think he's going to compete in it. So we're going to see if he ends up getting to the finals.
You have to admit there was that one arm drag that he did, right?
Yes.
It was beautifully done. It was like artwork. I was like, oh, that was sweet.
I'm not saying there's no way I can sit up here and say he's not good. I'm just simply saying that it was a lot closer than I would have thought. And on bottom, he looked a little stiffer and a little more not as fluid as I've seen him look in the past. On top, he's an animal still. His pressure, his knee control, the way he switches in and out of guard into half guard into full mount, but all those things. He had a beautiful, we call it dope mount. It's an old BJ Penn type style mount. He had a beautiful dope mount at one transition. I'm like, this is nice. Don't get me wrong. On top, he's a beast. But I put him against Gordon Ryan. Is he going to be on top or is he going to be on bottom?
I don't think the matchup with Gordon's a good thing for him.
Yeah,
not at this time. At one time, a younger Galval.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then a younger Galval was lighter.
Yeah, but you can't hold on to it forever.
No, that's the biggest thing. I get that.
I hear people and they want that guy, that has done so much to continue to face the very best. It's like, hey,
yeah,
it tends to go away, even though you're continuing to train. You can't keep that level. It just doesn't happen, and age takes it away.
Yeah, you got to look at the guys like Randy. Man, Randy was able to make it last longer because he bounced from heavyweight to light heavyweight, back up to heavyweight. He did this, Dan Henderson,
and because
same thing.
Lot of people could not. And look, I trained with him too many times. A lot of people just do not understand the Greco-Roman game of Randy Couture and the way that he, in the clinch, could wear you out while he didn't get worn out. And he was phenomenal at it. Guys didn't understand how to stay with him, and they would work real hard to try to out-muscle him and all that stuff. And he would it's the same concept of what Khabib did with taking guys down, getting his hands and riding him and then letting him get back up and then boom, taking him back down. Randy was doing the same thing up against the cage in the clinch positions. He was just wearing you out. So,
yeah. All right, let's jump into the UFC talk.
Let's do it.
You want to start with the main event? Let's go main event.
All right.
Let's go right away.
Let's go. What'd you think?
Look, I think
one thought crossed my mind.
What's that?
I said there was one thought that crossed my mind after the whole thing, but go ahead. I'll explain it.
Daukaus coming back, being a main event after losing the way he did in his last fight, I think it trickled down to this. And then Curtis Blaydes, he needed that. He needed that to make his statement in terms of, hey, I'm not the boring fighter. When we talked about this fight in the midweek show, you read if you read the comments, because I do, I know you don't, but I'll read them to you just out loud.
Okay.
And what it is that people said, oh, it's going to be a snooze fest. He's going to take him down. He's going to hump him. He's going to wrestle him to death, all these things. I didn't see that.
No.
I didn't see that. Now, I'm hoping that Curtis Blaydes doesn't get caught up into the Corey Anderson situation where he ends up.
You just took it from me. All right, for everyone out there, if you have the nasty habit of smoking or vaping, we have got the cure for you. It is Fume. This product right here is fantastic. This is the product that can help you beat that nasty smoking or vaping thing that you do, because it replaces the hand-to-mouth habit that has just become natural to you. And you'll have that same thing with this incredible product. You're going to use this Prominent and the cores that are essential oils. They have all kinds of different flavors: Conquer, peppermint, lemon, berry, bliss. In the winter months, talking about Christmas, they even have eggnog. It's fantastic. Fume is a complete system for you to be able to stop your smoking or vaping habit, replace it with something that is healthy. Fume you can do while you drive to work. You can do it on a plane. You can do it on a train. You can do it with your kids there. There is no odor. There is no vapors or fumes or smoke that is going to affect anybody out there. It is a natural way for you to start on a healthy new you. And that's what we all want. For everybody out there, all you have to do is go to Breathe Fume, and Fume is F-U-M. Do not use an E on the end. BreatheFume.com/weighing in and use the promo code weighing in, and you will get 10% off of not only the Prominent, but all of the essential cores that you buy that will help you get a good infusion of something that smells good, makes you feel good, opens you up, and takes the nasty habit of smoking or vaping away. I believe in Fume. I love this product. I use it myself, even though I do not smoke or vape, but it does open you up and makes you feel just fresh and happy. Use Fume. Try it now. It's a great product. Please become healthier today. Fume is the way to do it. The first thought I had after this watching him was, Curtis, that was a nice win. Don't get caught up into the Corey Anderson. You're going to end up wishing you didn't do that thing that is making you not as good a fighter.
Yeah.
And that's the big thing. Look, this was a nice win. It was a great win for Curtis. He looked good on the feet. I actually thought he looked better on the feet than Daukaus did, through that first round.
Yep.
I thought he was the one that was really controlling the fight, controlling the distance. He landed some good stuff. He got hit a couple times. You're in the fight. You're throwing hands. You're going to get hit. But the one thing that popped in my head was afterwards, man, don't get into this. You're trying to make the promotion happy, and you're going to change who you are.
Yeah.
And that's going to be your undoing, because you will get hit by someone that's, in the heavyweight division. It only takes one, and it's, keep that wrestling. You're good at that. This is MMA. And, continue to improve in your stand-up, and you have. I think you're absolutely better now with your stand-up, but you looked really good against Daukaus. That was a big shot you hit him with, and very well-timed, the whole thing. Don't lose what brought you.
Yeah, don't lose focus of what got you to the dance. That's the biggest thing.
Yeah.
And that we've had this conversation too with Corey Anderson. We've had this conversation with other fighters that are predominantly wrestlers, because they get caught up in listening to not just the fans.
No,
but you're going to get a little push from the organization, like, hey, you got to be a little more exciting. You got to be, let's try to get some more finishes.
It's easy for the UFC to sell exciting fights. It's not easy to sell fights that aren't exciting.
Yeah.
And so, you get that kind of highlight for them. They go, oh, we can put that back in, put you up against someone else. It's great. I understand.
What makes me think that they're really trying to do something with Curtis Blaydes is that they put him against Daukaus, coming off of the loss that he came off of, in a main event. Like, hey, this guy's in the main event, Most fans are not going to go back and research who Daukaus is. They're going to go, oh, it's the main event, Curtis Blaydes and Daukaus. Okay, cool. They're going to watch. They're not going to do the research that he just lost, and he didn't lose. He lost a bad fight. Now he comes back. Now he's main eventing, and this is what happens. And I felt like it was a quick return, and to be in a main event, not a good idea. It sounds good because you're getting paid. Normally, when you're in the main event, you get a little bonus for being in the main event. So obviously for Daukaus, he's like, yeah, for sure, I'll take it.
Sure.
Trying to get back that loss that he just had. Yeah. But it just wasn't a good scenario, good situation for him from the get. But Curtis looked good. I'm not going to take anything away from him. But I agree with you 100% in what we were just saying. Do not fall in love with the fact that now you've had some finishes on the feet. Let's go back and let's make sure and it goes based off of opponent, to be honest. Daukaus doesn't strike me as someone who has like I said, that one crunch power.
No,
he's one crunch knockout power.
I mean,
he's got power.
He's got power. He's a heavyweight. He can swat, but he doesn't have that Derek Lewis.
No.
Or that fucking Francis Ngannou type power. No.
Yeah. And I don't know many people that do.
No, that's exactly it. So.
Okay, so the next fight down for the...
Think about this. When did he get knocked out by Derek Lewis? Wasn't it in December?
2 fights ago.
Was it 2 fights ago?
Well, it was. Well, no,
No,
I think
it was
this
last
his fight
fight.
back. His first fight back. Yeah, his last
This
fight.
is his first fight back, and
I
that was in
guess.
December,
Yeah.
right?
When was Daukaus's lost?
That's what I'm saying. Daukaus lost to Derek Lewis, I believe, in December. What was
Oh, when did Curtis lose to Daukaus? I mean,
that
to
was a
Derek
while
Lewis.
ago. That was
Yeah,
that
to
was
Derek
more of
Lewis.
a while ago. That was
December.
last year, but
Yeah.
was it? All right, there you go. It was December 18th.
Got it.
Okay,
So that was Daukaus. When did Curtis lose to him? To Derek Lewis? October? Maybe in
February.
the summer.
February.
Oh, he lost a while ago. Oh, he beat Rosenstruck. So he
So
lost. it.
that was over a year ago.
Yeah.
Okay,
He's got 2 wins. Or he's got,
But-
he's got 2 wins.
my whole point is this. Look at it's March 26th,
Yeah.
right? So basically, let's say December 26th, right? January, February. No, he got knocked out.
Mm-hmm.
Normally, you have a medical suspension of at least 60 to 90 days, and that's supposedly no contact. And he was main eventing this fight. Came back a little too soon from being knocked out. You know, this can affect you, and it can make it to where that, like, he got hit by a big shot. But you can be more susceptible. You got to give your brain time to recover. If he had torn his knee out or if he had broken arm, everyone would understand why he was out for that, 2 to 3 months without training, not getting back in a fight, because he's been training for this fight. And you just look and you go, you're coming back too soon, man. You got to give yourself that rest.
Yeah, and the other thing too is that not only did he come back, then he's probably already started training like a couple weeks after he came back.
Absolutely.
So I'd say probably 2-3 weeks, getting ready for a
Yes.
main event. Just
Not
started,
good.
I want to do 6 to 8 week camp. I mean, yeah, not enough time for your brain to heal up.
Nope.
Alexa Grasso, Joanne Wood.
Woo. I didn't see her getting a submission. I didn't call that one. I was like,
She's feeling a little bit better, more on the ground though these days. I mean, she's been
Yeah.
working on the ground. She's been
Yes.
feeling a little bit better on the ground. Almost like because her and Alejandro Lara from Bellator, the two of them were training partners for a long time. I don't know if they still are, but then during that time when they were training together, they started really working towards their submission game, and I've seen the transitions get a little bit better. I didn't see her getting the finish in the grappling area. I thought Joanne would be able to survive in terms of grappling wise, but nicely done.
But if you go back and you watch that, I was like, where are you putting your hands? Because Joanne, when that whole takedown scenario and she kind of sat back, her hand goes down and it's on the mat. And I'm like, get your hand off the mat, right? Arm goes around. She tries to reach up. It's like, it's like that momentary lapse of just not thinking about what I'm doing.
Yeah.
I love Joanna. She's a sweetheart. I love John Wood. He's a great guy. I know this is crushing her and stuff, but this is what happens when time moves on and you got these young studs coming up. And look at Alexa Grasso's been here for a while now, and she's she stepped in.
She's
She had
still
some hard
super young.
fights.
She's
She
still
is
super young though. I think she's like 27, 28.
but
I don't know if she's that old.
But she's gonna be in the UFC and fighting for a while. She's good.
Yeah.
She'll stand and bang, and now her ground game is getting there. It's gonna be interesting to watch how far she goes.
Well, John, let's talk about the next 2 of the best fights on the whole card, which is what we called basically. I mean, I don't understand why these 2 fights weren't higher up, and I get it. Alexa Grasso being who she is and getting the finish, which she actually lived up to it. But I thought that these 2 next fights should have been the co-main and the
so did I.
co-main. I don't know how you want to call it.
That's all right.
But man, Matt Brown and Barberena just delivered from beginning to end. It was a great fight.
All I gotta say is thank you, both of you. Thank you very much. Matt Brown, you're a stud. Brian Barberena, you're a stud. I love both you guys. I said we talked about this. I said, man, that's gonna be a great fight. Just because they just both go for it. But man, you have to the inside fighting of those guys. What they were doing in that phone booth, tied up, the elbows that were coming across, and the shots that they were landing, beautifully done, hard. And most people do not do well with Matt Brown in that range, in that clinch. He usually gets the better of everyone. I don't think he got the better of Barberena. Barberena got the better of him in this fight.
Yeah, see, you and I were
But it
texting
was
back
close.
and forth, and I thought Matt Brown won the fight. And then I text you also. I said, I'm not going to argue if Barberena wins the fight. But I mean,
I wouldn't have argued either way.
Yeah, I had Matt Brown winning rounds 1 and 2. I had him losing round 3. And it was close.
How did you have Matt winning the second round when he got just waylaid?
Yeah, he did take some big shots, but I had him. He was the one kind of pushing Barberena around a little bit.
But he was hurt bad.
He did get hurt. But I looked at it too. He controlled more of that round though in that fight with
But
some bigger
he got
shots.
hurt bad. Who was close to finishing that round?
Yeah, it was towards the end of the round. Yeah, I guess. I mean, I still had Matt. I mean, I get maybe. Hey, John, maybe I'm just a little old and biased.
Maybe you are.
No, I really for me, I looked at Matt doing, he controlled more of the round, did a lot of damage in the first parts. Not obviously, look, when you're dealing with someone who's younger, that's the other thing that I look at though too. When I look at the older fighters, they don't take damage as well as the younger fighters.
Of course
they take it and they walk through. With Matt, every time he got hit in the third round, it looked like it affected him. It spun him, it turned him a little bit to the left, turned him a little bit to the right, whatever it was. He kind of hunched over. He always kind of fights that way regardless. But before he could walk through shots and just keep coming, how Barberena did tonight, he just didn't have that same. He's older.
He got tired.
That's really he got tired. He got tired. But to fight at that pace, John.
Oh yeah.
I think
no.
You could put a 25-year-old in there.
I am not. It's not like he was not in shape. He was.
Yeah.
He took some big shots, and that where the wrestling that he was doing, and look, he was successful with a lot of his wrestling and in the takedowns and stuff, but that got him tired. Yeah. And the shots he took got him tired. It punched a hole in his gas tank, and man, he just hung tough. Look at both guys. Yeah. All I can say is thank you. You guys were fucking phenomenal.
Yeah. I mean, look, one judge agreed with me. That's the way I look at it.
The guy from Ohio.
One judge agreed with me. And then Kai Kara-France versus Askarov. When we talked about this in the midweek show, I read the comments. John, let me repeat to you what some of these comments said.
Okay.
Oh, it's going to be boring. It's going to be a hump fest. It's going to be wrestle fuck. It's going to be Askarov's going to hold him down. Da-da-da-da. I told you guys, man, this was going to be a good fight. Now, I did explain that if he couldn't stop early takedowns, it was going to be a hard night for him. He had to stop some early takedowns. That first round didn't go his way, but he came in that second and third round, like just realizing how to keep the distance. Lower stance, keeping his hips back, letting the uppercut, letting the jabs to the body and the right below the chin go. He was doing a lot of good things. Came over with the loopy stuff, but then still put the jab down low. He did. Kai Kara-France delivered tonight. Good job. I thought it was extremely close. I thought it was going to be a split decision, not a unanimous one, but it was a good fight. It was a very good fight.
No, it was a great fight. And I thought it was, I thought Kai Kara-France won. I thought obviously Asker won the first round. There was no doubt about that. But the second round, Kai Kara-France definitely won. And so it all came down to the third. And I really looked at it, what the difference of it was. What you saw from Askarov, he was trying to control the fight instead of trying to damage and win the fight, while Kai Kara-France was trying to damage his opponent and win the fight. That's why he's the guy that got the win.
Yeah, because I had texted you after. I was like, "Do you think France won?" And you're like, "Yeah." And I was like, I was thinking they were going to give it to Askarov based off of the trying to get the takedowns. Had a couple moments where he was controlling the situation, but there was nothing really going on. It was just him holding the leg. Yeah, nothing going on. So that was it. And then the other fight that, I can't overlook this fight as well, was that we also talked about this, Neil Magny and Max Griffin. You and I were texting back and forth, but I said I thought Max won the fight. I thought he won rounds 1 and 2. I thought he won them. I thought he won rounds 1 convincingly, but I thought he won them.
He won round 1 convincingly.
Yeah, convincingly he won round 1.
That was just like Neil won round 3 convincingly, no doubt about it. This is one of those ones where I look at, again, especially the way Neil Magny ends the fight. I don't have a problem that he, ended up getting it, but I did thought at the time when I watched the fight, I thought that Max took the second round. So I think I would have had it 29-28. But I was talking about this could be a 10-8 round, and then Max ended up coming back and stuff in a little bit, and so no one gave him the 10-8s. But look, Neil, I'll watch Neil Magny fight anytime. I'll watch Max Griffin fight anytime. They both come to, fight. You got to give Neil Magny's tough as hell. He got put on his ass, and that was a big shot. And he freaking got himself back from that. And you look and you go, dude, because you can see when he's clear. Neil Magny doesn't really have a reverse until he's hurt, and then he'll back up, and and then all of a sudden he's starting to move forward. You go, he's feeling good again, man.
Yeah.
He knows where he's at. He knows what he's doing, and the dude is tough as fucking nails, But I thought it was a great fight between the two of them. They both put it out there. Split decision, I can understand. It's okay.
Yeah, I agree. I thought, like you said, they both left it out there. They both had good performances. I thought Neil lost, and I'm a Neil fan.
Yep.
I thought when we did the breakdown in the midweek show, we said, look, Max, I think he's good for a round and a half because Neil's pressure is going to wear down on him. He's going to start slowing down a lot, which we saw in the third round.
Yes, we did.
He started slowing down towards the very end of the second round.
Yeah, he was slowing down.
But I still gave him the second round. So, I mean, I'm not mad. It was kind of one of those things. I feel bad for Max because I feel like Max won the first 2 rounds and then he survived the third round.
Yeah.
I had a lot of criticism because we didn't talk about the Mark, how do you say his last name?
Diaz,
and we didn't talk about this fight last week. I didn't even want to butcher this guy's name. So we didn't talk about this fight. And the reason why we didn't talk about this fight is, at least the reason why I didn't bring it up is because, and I knew it was a different type of game plan. I didn't know he was going to fight that style, but I didn't see this fight being a super exciting fight. It ended up living up to the way I thought. And I'm not trying to point out that I was right. I'm just simply saying I didn't see stylistically, like when I was taught with this fight, Diaz is really good. He just doesn't fight to his potential. He's really good. He just doesn't fight to his potential the majority of the time. And so when I look at fights, when I'm looking through these and who I can talk about outside of bigger names, okay, like you always want to talk about the bigger names. I'm not trying to butcher these guys. I'm just simply saying some of the fights just didn't live up. Like some of these fighters don't live up to their potential. And he's one of the fighters that he has great moments, but he doesn't live to his potential. And so I sometimes just comb over him. And that's just me. I don't know why we didn't talk about it in terms of why John didn't want to talk about it, but that was my feeling. I saw people talking about us in the comments saying, you guys have missed out on this. Is going to be a great fight. This is going to be a great fight. Well, look,
John, he just blamed you. John, he just blamed you for not talking about it.
No. People in the comments. No. I didn't blame
He wasn't
John,
blaming me.
no.
But it's the truth. The truth about Diaz is, like, he's a dynamic striker.
Yeah.
And you don't expect him to wrestle. And I was shocked watching him in this fight. And at first, it was like, I can see he's trying to put it there. So Borshov isn't in that feeling like, oh, I won't take you down. But then he came back and it just continued to do the same thing. And obviously it was his game plan and it worked and it got him a win because, he's had some, man, do you remember his fight against Fiziev?
Yes.
And I thought that was going to be, a great fight between the two strikers. And it was a good fight, but Fiziev really put it on him in the first couple of rounds. But then I guess he came, hung tough. I mean, he took some huge shots in that fight. And actually in the third, he was actually fighting well.
Yeah.
Not enough to get the win, but the guy can fight. He's a good athlete. He is a stud fighter. And if he can bring in a grappling game to go along with his stand-up, he's going to be a lot more dangerous guy.
I agree.
So, I'm looking at it, and although it was not the fight that I thought it was going to be as far as matchup-wise and what was going to happen and everything, it was a pretty interesting fight for me. And to watch Mark go about doing what he did and then go back to it and show me, man, that's his game plan. That's what he wants to do. And that he's showing everybody else, hey, I'm changing up. I'm going to be better at everything. I'm not going to be a one-trick pony. And that makes him a dangerous guy. And I'm kind of looking forward to seeing him in his next fight.
I'm not saying that I don't like watching him fight.
Okay.
I do. Okay. I'm a fan, but it seems like when I watch him, he doesn't live up to his potential. I've seen him have great moments in fights. I've seen him have great fights, but then there's a lot of times where I'm like, man, what are you doing? Like, I don't know if it's the game plan of the coaching. I don't know if it's the game plan. This was a smart game plan because it worked. And I like the idea he's building his repertoire of being a full MMA fighter. He's not just a stand-up guy. I'm okay with it. But it just seemed like when I saw this comparison between the two fighters, like, this can be one of those fights where he's gonna be sprawling and brawling, circling, not doing a whole lot. I didn't think he was gonna wrestle, to be honest. I thought he was gonna more just circle, throw one shot.
Yeah.
And remember how we got on what's the guy's name from Thailand that trained with Mike Swick? Manel Cape. Yeah, him. Same thing. Remember when he came in? I was like, he's so good everywhere, but then
so
he
fast.
just didn't live. And I see a little bit of the two of them being very similar.
Yeah.
And just they circle, they stick him like it's like, okay, live up to your potential. You guys are so good. And so that's more of me, just my own personal reasons. I thought the Curtis Gutierrez fight, phenomenal fight.
Oh, Chris
Phenomenal
Gutierrez?
fight. Yes.
Yes.
And I don't even know how you say the Mongolian guy's name, but Donna.
Yeah.
But it was a good fight. Donna was walking him down, trying to land the heavy, hard shots. Gutierrez was putting some positions, throwing a low-level calf kick. Great fight IQ. His chin was a little up a couple times, got a little nervous there. I was watching. I'm like, ooh, circle out. Hands were down. But then came out, beautiful spinning back fist.
Oh,
yeah, nicely done. It's just weird because you have Molly McCann last week, and now you've got this week, and we haven't seen a lot of them in the history of the sport. I'm sure they've been thrown, but in terms of finishes, you haven't seen a lot of them. I think a total of maybe like six or something like that.
Oh, not in the history of the sport. Maybe
that's
maybe
what they
for the
said
UFC.
tonight.
For the
No,
UFC.
In the sport.
Yeah,
the history of
the history of the sport.
History of
that.
UFC.
Yeah.
So
In the sport of
Freudian
UFC.
slip. Shut your whore mouth. So, but I thought Gutierrez looked good. I thought he looked smooth. He fought very patient. He was, Donna or whatever was throwing heavy hands. He's got power. You could tell. And
he was,
man, this
dude. He was
fight.
Loading up on that right hand though.
Yeah.
I mean, he was telegraphing. It's like, slow the roll, son. Nice and easy.
Did you watch? Then I watched the next one too. I don't even know how you say it. Kizarev and Turulian or whatever. Turulian or whatever.
Turulian or something like that. Yeah.
He was looking good. I'll just call him Dennis because that's easier. Dennis was looking good in the first round. He had some good combinations, throwing some straight punches, but he took the fight on short notice and got tired.
Yeah.
That was the end of it. You could see about 4 minutes into the first round, he was done. Came out into the second and just didn't have the gas that he should have had. And he did well still a little bit in the second, but he just didn't have the gas. It was done.
But Alishkab, Kizrev, however you say it.
Yeah.
He's actually, the guy can wrestle. He can stand up and bang. He looked at, I was just looking at him, I was like, that dude could be a 170 pounder. And then all of a sudden, he comes out and says, I'm going to 170 pounds. I go, that's a smart move right there. Because he's carrying extra weight. You look and you go, yeah, he's carrying extra weight.
He reminded me of Kelvin Gastelum a little bit, like just size wise.
Yeah.
Not anything else. Just a
little
little bit like Kelvin Gastelum.
Body type.
Body type, size wise, and when Kelvin first came into the sport, I think he was wearing kind of the longer shorts, the slit up the side. I think maybe I'm wrong, but I think like they were doing something like that. Anyways, he had that same kind of look. I was like, it kind of gave me like Kelvin Gastelum look a little bit. He's good. He's undefeated. He's gonna need a little bit of work.
A little bit. Give him time.
He's got to move his head offline. The one thing that I saw is that he doesn't move his head.
There is no
head
movement of his head.
Yeah.
I was gonna say there is none.
Yeah, he got hit he got hit a couple times with a straight right, and
I think his neck is fused about as much as mine is.
Yeah. So, and then outside of that, I watched the Fiorot fight versus Jennifer Maia.
Yeah. That was a good fight.
It was
I thought Jennifer Maia came after her. Look, you've got to give it that Fiorot has got talent. She's got a lot of skill. She's got that she uses that sidekick very well as a range finder and to keep people back off of her and stuff. And you got to give her credit, man. Her wrestling actually looked good.
Yeah.
She got into some, clinch situations. She beautiful hip toss on Maia at one point. Just everything she was doing, she looked good. And so she's the real deal at 125 pounds. When you're looking at people to say, okay, who do you say has the ability to even fight? Valentina.
Sorry.
Excuse me. Who has that ability to fight Valentina? There's not a whole lot that you go, oh, that's someone So she's one that you can look and say, you know what? She's got stand up. She's got the ability. She had 100% takedown defense until this fight with Maya, and that's fine. Someone's going to take you down. So she ends up, getting taken down, but she also reversed the position on some of them. And then she did her own takedowns.
Yeah.
She's getting better. And at 9-1, look, she's someone that give her a couple more fights.
Yeah.
I think she's going to be an interesting fighter.
Yeah, it's work in progress. The same thing we say about Sugar Sean, same thing we say about Patty, things like that. There's certain fighters you just got to give them a little bit more time.
Yep.
Other than that, I didn't see the first two fights. I was late to the show.
Okay.
And then other than that, but hey, Dave, let's jump into some news.
All right, we got this first story: Sean Strickland versus Alex Pereira for UFC 277.
I hate it. This pains me so much.
Come on, baby.
John, you were fucking right.
Ooh, yeah.
No, this is what, John, I agree with you. I thought this fight, like, you said, this is the fight I'd like to see. I was like, yeah, I'd like to see that fight too. But Dave, can you pull up the rankings? When you look at the rankings outside of him winning that fight, then let's just say he beats Strickland.
Yeah.
Does he go right to a title shot? Because
Absolutely.
there's wrestlers in there that
Sean, look, Sean Strickland is a tough sumbitch, all right? But he's a stand-up fighter, and he's not a guy that's going to really be going after takedowns. You know that, right?
But
Josh,
does he become a wrestler this fight, John? Does he become a wrestler this fight?
He might. He might some of it to survive because, look, if there's one thing we know about Pereira, the man can fucking swat. At 185 pounds, he's got power. He's got one-punch knockout power. He's got big-time knees. He's got big-time kicks. The guy can fucking swat no matter what limb you want to talk about. He's got power in it. So you take a look at this, and this is about making money. It's about entertainment, like you're always talking about. So if you take a guy like Pereira, and is Pereira even ranked right now?
I think he's up there now. He just beat somebody who was ranked, so I think he's up there.
He's not on there.
He's not on there.
Okay. I thought he was in that 15, 14 area.
So he's not up there, and he's fighting a guy that's ranked number 4.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So if he beats that guy who's ranked number 4, all right, he's going to jump way up.
Yeah.
And you can take a look that Whitaker has lost. Cannonier has not fought Adesanya. Vittori's lost twice to him. Brunson has lost to him. Paulo Costa's lost to him. It's very easy for the UFC to make that fight with Pereira, since Pereira has beautiful footage of a knockout that he has over a guy named Israel Adesanya. And I mean a knockout.
Yeah.
He knocked him out.
Slapped him.
Yeah. Just starched him. So look, this is an easy fight for them to build if Pereira can get past Strickland. It's a good play. This is why I thought, look, out of those guys that you're looking at, Whitaker can wrestle, Cannonier can actually wrestle a little bit, Vittori can actually wrestle, Brunson obviously can wrestle. So in that top 5 people there's only one guy that really doesn't wrestle, and that's Strickland.
Yeah.
So that's the guy to look and say, well, if you want to put a pretty pure striker against someone, the guy that likes to stand up and bang, it's Sean Strickland. He's crazy enough to stand with Pereira. So let's see what he does. And whichever way it goes from there, then we'll figure it out.
I've said this for the longest time, even when Anderson Silva was a champion. 185 is the weakest division in the sport. And it's no different than when I looked at Roy Jones when he was fighting at 189 or something like that. It was the weakest division, whatever. But he fought up at 160. Where he started.
Well, he fought all the way to heavyweight, but he's really at 160.
But in that area, though, it was kind of one of the weaker divisions. So when Roy Jones fought, he was,
You want to go with that?
It's not what it is now.
Oh, we're going to get into it later on.
Anyways, we can get into it all you want. You're in Tennessee. What do you know?
Oh, my God.
So, no, but I'm simply saying, it makes sense. He's already beat Whitaker twice. He's already beat, like you just said. I'm going to repeat what you said, basically. And so when you get in there, it makes it easier for them to jump the line. To say, hey, he beat Strickland, which I think, but I don't know if he's going to beat Strickland.
I don't know if he is either.
He took some big shots against his last opponent who decided to stand with him. Mm-hmm. And I didn't say he got in trouble. He wasn't in a lot of danger in that fight, but he took some big shots. Yeah, so he took some big shots in that fight. Strickland's going to deliver some big shots and take some big shots as well. But I think Strickland also going to be a little bit smarter. I know that's that Strickland and smart don't really seem to go hand in hand in this conversation.
He's a dog.
He's a dog. But when
dog.
I'm talking about someone being smart, he's not the guy I normally relate this to.
Yeah, he's the guy. Let's throw.
Yeah, let's throw. But I think in this fight, you're going to see a couple. I wouldn't say a lot. You're going to see 1 or 2 takedown attempts to make him think about it.
He should.
You're going to see it. And then if he does get 1 or 2, I think he's got enough after talking with people that have trained at the Ruka place and also wherever Strickland's at. Like people have trained with him and say he's not bad on the ground.
No, he's not. He's actually got a good ground. He's got a good ground game.
Yeah. So when having the conversation about like if he gets a takedown, he may finish Pereira. So I think he takes the easy route. I'm just being honest. I don't think he stands. I think he builds up the fight, talks a lot of shit. I think he stands a tiny bit, but he gets a takedown, and I think the fight ends. And I want Pereira to get to the Izzy fight because I'd like to see that. But I think Strickland understands what's at stake, and that's called money. Money is at stake, and I need to get that win, and that win makes a big difference. Yep. So, and that puts Strickland right in the conversation of, hey, you guys are gonna probably jump me or jump everyone to get. Because he's already beat everyone below.
Well, all he's got to say, all Sean's got to say is real simple, dude. I was a company man. I took the fight that you wanted him to take.
I took the D. I took the Dana D, as he would say.
And I put out or I beat the guy that knocked your champion out. Is there anyone else you want to put it up there? So,
well, because isn't Cannonier already locked in? It's him next.
Yes.
Yeah, so Cannonier's next, and then after that, it would be
that's the whole
probably
point.
the winner of this fight, which makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, Dave, next.
Total.
All right, next story. Nate Diaz found his polite voice, and he came out and requested his release from the UFC. He tweets, I would like to request to be released from the UFC at Dana White at Hunter. I apologize for asking online, but you don't give me a fight ASAP. I got shit to do.
I got shit to do.
Still managed to throw.
You gotta love the man. Hey, he's got shit to do. I believe him. I
think he does too. I think he does too.
Hey, I shouldn't be doing this. I apologize for doing this online, but
you guys,
awesome.
this is from every promotion.
It's the game.
Pretty much almost every promotion. This is the game. This is the contract game. This is what they're gonna do. If you guys haven't figured it out yet, they hold you until the bitter end to see if you'll take a fight that makes it easier for them to promote whoever the young talent is. They've offered him Chimaev, I've heard twice. He's turned it down. But then the week later, he says, I'll fight this guy, which means that his contract's back open. As soon as he says, I will fight him, and him, it means that he's available to fight, which means they can't extend his contract for 4 months if they want to.
Not for that long, yeah.
Not for that long, yeah. So then basically what he's saying is, I'm ready to fight, but I'm ready to fight, within this realm of fighters. Yeah. And they've offered him someone that a couple times on who he doesn't want to fight, and it makes sense. Why would I want to fight someone who, don't get me wrong, Chimaev has a name, but to the casual fan, he doesn't have a name. To the hardcore fans, he's got a big name. He's making his rounds. The people are making him famous. But to the casual fan, let's just say the Halle Berrys, the stars at home, they don't know who he is. Did
you just say the Halle Berry?
You know what I mean? Like, the casual MMA Hollywood style.
What are you talking about, man? She made a movie.
Yeah, but she
Bruised.
So
did you see that?
This is what they do. Promotions do this. And it's smart on their part. Like if you're a promotion, it's smart to drag your top talent to the bitter end. Outside of trying to piss them off, because it sounds like he's gonna leave. Now, I've said this for the longest time. I think he leaves to fight Jake Paul. He's gonna leave to fight boxing. He's gonna make 5, maybe 10, whatever the millions are. He's gonna make a lot of money. He's like, why? I could fight one guy boxing 8 rounds, get rest in between each round, and go on to do whatever it is I want to do after that.
But
instead, why would I fight killers in the UFC 2 or 3 more times?
Okay, but let's be honest. Don't you think that he could make as much fighting Conor?
I think they're dangling that carrot, but with that carrot comes a multiple contract, a multiple fight contract.
I know that.
And here's the other thing.
But if it's about the money,
but let me
make
ask
that money
you this.
either way.
let me ask you this: which one's an easier fight?
I didn't say that. I'm going the boxing route.
Okay, going the boxing route, and then on top of that, though, let's just say it's not the easier fight. He's going to train just boxing, only one. He doesn't have to train jiu-jitsu. He doesn't have to train wrestling. He just train boxing, which he can do, which he does majority of the time anyways. That on top of that, then he gets breaks every 3 minutes versus every 5 minutes. And it's going to be probably just an 8-round fight. It won't be 10. I can't imagine it being 10, but it'll probably just be an 8-round fight.
He should make it 10.
All right, let's make it 10 then. But he still gets a break every 3 minutes. He gets a minute break every 3 minutes.
He's a good cardio fighter anyway.
Yeah. So, I mean, I'm looking at it in terms of, he's like, look, and I fight this one guy, whatever. I mean, fighting Conor to me is better for him in terms of his legacy. I don't think fighting, because if he does lose, let's just say he loses to Jake Paul, it's fucked. It's fucked. You know what I mean? Like, it's a shitty situation. But
Josh, how does it work for the contract? Because they have to offer him 3 fights in a year. So at which point, like, is that inside a calendar year? And if so, at what point is it too late in the year for them to be able to offer him 3 fights to where that starts affecting the contract?
Well, no. Go ahead, John. If they offer him 3 fights in a year, every time he turns a fight down, it extends his contract. So that year is no longer a year.
Yeah, they have to give him. It'll be within the contract. You will be offered 3 fights within this calendar year. Okay. And so if he takes those 3 fights, he'll get those 3 fights within the 1 year period. Now, if he turns one of those fights down, or he ends up accepting the fight and then he has to pull out because he gets injured or anything like that, that contract gets extended based upon, well, we offered you the fight and you weren't able to take it. So we didn't, we upheld our part of the bargain. You weren't able to uphold yours. So it extends out to the next one. And so it does extend the time on it.
But like right now where Chimaev has a fight, right? And we know that they want him to get beat by Chimaev to make Chimaev look good. But like right now they can't offer him the Chimaev fight. So
that's why they're not, that's why they're holding out right now. And he's going, hey, How about him? How about him? How about him?
Yeah.
How about him?
So which is continuing his time on. So like if he turned a fight down and let's just say he turned a fight down in January, but then a week later, that basically extended his contract for 4 months. As soon as he says he's ready to fight, so a week later he goes, I want to fight Dustin Poirier, or I want to fight Conor McGregor when he returns, or whoever. That basically activates his contract again. So that 4 months no longer exists. It's gone now. That doesn't extend his contract now 4 months. Now it extended it the 1 week.
But that doesn't mean that they have to give him that fight within a certain amount of time. They just have to, if he signs for that fight, they can put that fight down the road. We'll say 3 months, 4 months. If he takes it, he takes it.
But he's doing something very smart. As soon as he turns the fight down, a week later he says, "No, I want Dustin Poirier. No, I want this guy. I want this guy."
Because he knows it activates. It doesn't make it to where they
his contract.
They can't just freeze him out.
Yeah, so they can't just continue to keep extending him unless he keeps turning the fight down. And he turned it down, sure, but then he says, "I'm ready to fight." Once he says he's ready to fight and he's healthy and ready to go, they have to activate his contract again. So he's probably only extending his contract like a week or two every single time. Yeah, a couple of weeks. So anyways, well, I hope to see him fight. I want to see him fight Dustin. That's the fight I want to see. That's the one that I really want to see. Next.
All right, last story we're going to wrap up on is the Colby Covington George Masvidal situation. Apparently Colby's pressed charges against George, and his $90,000 Rolex being damaged is a part of that alleged assault situation. Yeah. Sounds like a mess.
Yeah, John, I said this last week. I'm going to say it again. And if you guys don't agree with me, you guys can go watch DC and RC. Yeah. And you can even go watch Luke Thomas and those guys as well. They basically just
Luke Thomas
said the
and
same,
Brian Campbell.
And Brian Campbell. They said exactly what I said. There's certain people that grew up in an environment that the rules just don't apply. And if you guys don't like it, and Colby's not one of those guys.
No.
And that's the problem. Like it brought it up. He's like, look, George is the guy that like grew up on the street. And he said like Colby, he was there, whatever, at some restaurant, like by himself or with one friend. That's not going to get down if he's going to get down. If George walked up, I'm sorry, but George's going to get down with probably 3 or 4 other guys behind him going, we're here to do our part. And Colby's not that guy. Colby's the guy that he walks around probably in confidence just by himself with a friend, or maybe he has no friends. I don't know. But he's out doing whatever, feeling like he doesn't need to worry about other people. But when you talk the way you talked, and someone said, and I saw all the comments, guys, oh, he didn't say anything about his family. What I mean is this, if he didn't say anything about his kids, what he said was things that would interrupt a family lifestyle. That's what you guys have to remember. If somebody said, hey, if I turned to John and I turned to John's wife and I made it public record and be like, oh yeah, I seen John cheat on you all these times, that is interrupting your family flow. You understand what I'm saying? Like, that's talking shit about your family. That is interrupting my family situation. Whether it's true or not, there's like a code between boys. You do not, and not even boys, just the male code, is you don't go and like report your business to whoever's wife. Oh, I saw your boy cheat on you're a bitch. And I like Colby. I like him a lot. I like him as a fighter. I like his shtick. I like all of that. I love it. But in this situation, you have to understand, you didn't grow up the way that this guy did. And the things that you said, it goes beyond being a fighter and the build up to the fight. And that's the problem. And I said that too. Remember what I said about Stephen A? Stephen A says things sometimes. He doesn't realize one of these times, these MMA guys are going to find you in an elevator and they're going to slap the shit out of you.
And that's the problem. The elevator's going to open up and someone's going to be on the ground unconscious.
And that's the problem.
I doubt it's going to be the MMA fighter.
Yeah, I doubt it too. But and look, and I'm not saying, and this is the other thing, a takeaway. I'm giving it to you guys like raw. These guys with DC and the guys with and Luke Thomas, they're going to be very PC about it, the way that they present it. They work for a network. John and I have a podcast. We don't have to work for that. We don't have to say those things. I'm just being very upfront. I don't condone what George Masvidal did. And I like George as a person. I like him as a fighter. I do not condone this thing.
You can't do that.
I think he should have walked up to him face to face and said, you know what? Let's get down on the street now and see how it turns out. What he did, the side thing, from the side, wearing a hoodie and a mask, whatever it is. I don't condone that. That to me that's not cool. That's not right. That's not even like street stuff. That's just not right.
No, that is street.
It is, but not. No,
it is
not for real though, John.
Yeah, well, if you're that guy in the street,
but George's not that guy.
What's that?
George's not that guy. That's my point. George is not. He shouldn't have leveled himself to that low level. That's stuff you see in gangs.
I agree.
That's stuff you see like in just dirty stuff, right? He's so talented and good enough. He could have walked up and said, you know what? Let's handle it now on the streets. The streets is a lot different than when you're fighting someone in the cage. Everyone's we could have just handled in the cage 25 minutes. Look, man, if I fight you in the streets, my fingers go in your eyes.
There are no rules.
I'm headbutting you. I'm elbowing you.
Everything.
I'm pulling at your eye. I'm doing everything. Yeah. This is different. Now, if that was the situation that George wanted to approach, then he should have done it that way.
Yeah.
I didn't obviously, I'm going off on this tangent, but
and I'm letting you.
I know you're letting me do it.
Go,
I appreciate that. But I expected, like I said, I don't condone what George did. And then with Colby, to me, it's just one of those things. You have to understand there's a limit. Some of these guys, like George and other guys, they're not playing around like that, man. They're not. There's certain guys that are not. Khabib made it very clear. They're not going to play around that way either. They like to talk. They don't talk smack, but they will dish it out. They will find you. They will talk to you face to face. And there's other fighters that will do that as well. I don't like the way this whole thing was handled, but it was a situation that it escalated beyond what it should have been. And George's going to end up doing I don't know if he's going to do time, but he's going to get some trouble. You don't think so?
He's going to end up paying for a fucking watch that's not his.
He's got money though, man. He's got money.
Well, that's good. I'm glad. Yeah, the one thing that I thought was interesting out of this whole thing, since you covered all that, I'm not going to even get into it. But I'm going to get into Khabib, because Khabib basically came out and said,
"Oh, that's right.
The entire welterweight division should refuse to fight Colby Covington." And I was like, "Damn,
yeah,
man, you're going all the way there because of this." But yeah, I can see where someone can say, "Hey, if you want to talk all that stuff and you want to be that guy, then when this stuff happens, I'm not saying that I think it's right, but don't go running to, I'm going to press charges and I'm going to sue and all those things. Just, you can't have it both ways. And so I thought it was interesting. He said, what the whole welterweight, everyone should just refuse to fight, freeze them out, then we'll see. And I was like,
yeah, I'm not
damn,
sorry,
it's a little
I'm not
tough.
a fan. I'm not Khabib. I look at him like a brother. I really care for him a lot, but I'm not part of the cancel culture either.
No.
I don't like that. You know what? If you want, get in there, beat him up, shut him up. That's the way I look at it when it comes to the fight game. Now, the way George handled it, I didn't condone that. I don't condone that either. I'm
You're
simply
just not
saying that
condoning anything.
it's a street fight, though. When it comes out, he should have walked right up to him and said, "Let's make it a street fight now." It's a different rules, different setting, everything.
Well,
it's
first
real
off,
life.
If he's going to sit there, and this is what the way I look at it, he doesn't have to sit there and tell him, "Hey, let's make it a street fight." He can walk right up and punch him in the mouth.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay, I don't have a problem with that. To sucker punch him from behind or anything
Yeah.
that's what you go. Hey, you probably that's not being an upfront.
No, I agree.
I want the person to know who did it.
I'm not arguing with you there. I agree. That's why I said I don't like the way he handled that. And I'm a George fan, and I'm a Colby fan, and I don't like the way he's handling the rebuttal on it, pressing charges. And Khabib brought up some good points. You start talking about people's families. You start bringing the family into it. Look, you want to build a fight, build a fight. I got enough dirt. I got enough dirt on you being a scumbag or whatever it is you want to say, but I don't have to bring your family and your kids and how and all these other things with you. I don't have to bring that into it.
He didn't direct.
Let's build a fight. Huh?
He just called George a deadbeat dad.
No. He said somebody cheated on his wife. That right there is that's like me basically calling up your wife and saying or doing it publicly. Yeah, man, I've seen Dave cheat on his wife several times. Then what?
Yeah.
And
Even if it's not true.
Now your wife starts asking questions.
And even if it's not
kids,
true, did I just throw a monkey wrench in your entire relationship? Yes.
Yep. While you're trying to do a fight camp, by the way. I'm just being like those type of things are not the situations those are not the circumstances to bring these up. Like you want to talk shit, you want to call me whatever you want, cool. I don't like to me when he said deadbeat dad, okay, deadbeat dad. Maybe I don't spend as much time with my kids as you should. Maybe that's what he meant. But then when he came out and said I've seen him cheat on his wife and he brought up his wife's name, all this, like that's the type of stuff that I'm talking about.
No, you don't talk about people's families. You can say whatever
just
you
leave that
want
out.
about the person. Go ahead. They're the person that's going to be in there. They get to punch you in the mouth.
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, leave out the families.
More drama to come, I'm sure. More drama to come.
I'm sure.
John, very nice free Kane shirt.
Thank you
we're
very
gonna
much.
we're gonna actually attach a link to our page coming up here, so you guys can support Kane if you guys would like, and pick up a free Kane shirt.
Buy one of these. All the money goes to Kane's family.
Mm-hmm.
So they need the help. Do it.
Yep. Yes. And then go to weighinginpodcast.com, pick up some of our merch if you guys can. And we've got 2 new shirts that are out. We've got the Hindsight is 50-50, which Dave did a great job on that one. I love that one. It actually comes on a heather gray also. That's a bomb one. And then the And Still, hashtag And Still is up. That's another great one that Dave did. Dave, you did some good work, buddy, on these ones. I like it. Good job.
It's
Nice job.
homo weight around here.
Go to
Someone has to.
weighinghinpodcast.com. No one understood a word you just
We
said.
just
by
have
the
to
way.
go week to week with listening to Josh, and we'll have a new T-shirt every week
Yes.
for
yes.
Joshisms. We're just gonna
man.
we're just gonna do the Joshisms 1 through 10.
Yeah,
Do these come in? Can we get these in kids' shirts?
Yes, I can.
Yes, all right,
Yeah.
cool.
How many kids are listening to the podcast?
Yeah,
With the way that you talk.
Hey, but some of the dads are asking if
Just
they
changed
pick
my
up
language.
shirts,
I'm sorry.
Yes. All right.
Yeah.
Well, hey, pick up the Hindsight is 50-50 shirt as well as the Beast Mode shirt, our original logo, the OG logo, and then you've also got the hashtag And Still and all of our other shirts that are up in all different colors. Check it out at weighinghinpodcast.com. John, take us away.
For everyone out there, I hope you had as much fun watching the fights this weekend. One was fantastic. The UFC, fantastic. A lot of good fights out there. I hope you enjoyed. Do us a favor and be good to someone. Make someone's day special, and we will see you